So, after I completed my GCSEs, I got given a jigsaw from my grandma, and it's a jigsaw of this. And this is a newspaper which was published on my birthday, and not like my 5th birthday or my 10th birthday, on the actual day I was born, which was the 9th of January 2002. Now, it's nearly been 2 years and I've not had time to do it yet, and because we're all having to be in lockdown now, it's a good time to do it, and I thought I'd make a video of it. So I'm just going to read out to you some of the headlines from the newspaper on my birthday. Firstly, it was 40p. I wish newspapers could be that amount now. So, Blair's new African quest. Britain backs call for Commonwealth to suspend Mugabe. Britain backed calls for Zimbabwe to be suspended from the Commonwealth yesterday as Tony Blair came home from Afghanistan and turned his sights to Africa. He intends to visit the continent next month. Jack Straw told MPs that if President Mugabe's regime continued to sanction political intimidation and land seizures, the government would have no option but to argue for Zimbabwe's suspension. So another headline is more rail strikes as union snubs pay deal. The railways were plunged into deeper chaos last night as the biggest rail union announced a series of further strikes after rejecting attempts by train companies to settle this dispute. So this sort of thing still happens now. A lot of people go on strike, especially people working on railways. This isn't a good one. Passenger in plane death leap. A man is believed to have jumped to his death from a private aircraft yesterday. So that didn't happen on my birthday, that happened the day before I was born, because he thought it was about to crash. The man, a Briton in his 40s, was being flown in a Cessna 172 from France to a small airfield in Northamptonshire when a woman pilot reported ice on the wings and asked for permission to land at RAF Brize Norton, Oxfordshire. A few minutes later, the man fell from the aircraft and his body was found in a field. Britain picks Euro Army for Afghan peacekeeping mission. The government was accused yesterday of drafting a de facto Euro army to Afghanistan after only one non-European country was chosen to join the 14-nation peacekeeping force. Canada, which had been set to contribute 1,000 troops to the International Security Assistance Force, has been excluded, as have Muslim countries such as Jordan and Malaysia. New Zealand, which is sending a 30-strong team, is the only contributor from beyond the continent. There's just one more bit here, and it's about who says money can't buy you happiness. Windfalls of as little as 1,000 can improve a person's sense of well-being, whilst 1 million can fill even the most miserable souls with lasting joy, according to the largest study yet of the psychological effects of wealth. So I am going to do this jigsaw now, and I'm going to create a little time-lapse of me doing it. Okay, so after about an hour, this is what I've done. It's a very difficult jigsaw because all the pieces basically look the same. We've all got bits of black on, and we've all got bits of white on. But at least I managed to do 3 sides, the bottom, the right-hand side, and the top. I just don't really get this side, because if you look here, it's just all white. Okay, so I think I've probably done about 4/5. I've just been doing it for about 2 hours, and I need to take a break now, and I will hopefully complete it tomorrow. I have found that it's got a lot easier since doing the initial outline. So this here is my progress, and I'll tell you my tactic. So these pictures here and these bits were quite easy to do because they're very recognisable. So like a bit of that house, it was recognisable in its massive pool of pieces as a house, so therefore I could do that quite easily. But what I tried doing was I tried doing this bit first here, because these symbols and these big letters are very recognisable. And then I found that it was really easy to do the titles, because all the titles are in slightly different fonts to each other. So I was just looking for all the title bits. And then I moved on to looking at these lines, because everywhere is kind of a different line structure. So here it's a double line, here it's a pitch and then a line. Going down here, there's a line on the right hand side, there's a line here. So I started looking for lines on the pieces, and quite often I'd come across a piece I was looking for earlier, and I'd think back and I would be like, oh yeah, I was reading about something similar to that earlier, it must be in this section. Like, that's where I got quite a lot of these from, because I'd read this section and quite often I came across pieces from words that I'd recognised, that I'd read, okay? And also this one is mostly about countries. There's lots of countries, because there's Malaysia, New Zealand, Romania. So whenever I saw a country, I presumed it was in this section, unless it was like Zimbabwe, because that whole bit's about Zimbabwe. And also, if I saw lots of figures, as in money, I presumed it was in this section. This section's quite easy to do, because a lot of the pieces have bits going into that black bit at the bottom. So if I had a piece that had a black bit at the bottom, I would assume that it's in this section. Because you see there's 500,000 there, 60,000 there, 250,000 there. So that bit has a lot of numbers in. But I've made good progress. I had a bit of difficulty doing this here, because most of these pieces were the same. I kind of had to read that and look at the few letters I can see and match them up based on the few letters down there. I am dreading doing the picture though, because if you look at the Mugabe here, you see a lot of the pieces for this will look the same, because they'll all have bits of black and white on. So it might be a case of putting the piece in a piece and keep trying it to make sure that it fits, instead of just going off looking at the picture, because a lot of the pieces will be the same. Like, I struggled doing this bit for the same reason I struggled with his face a bit, just because all the pieces for there have bits of black and white on, and you see here there's a lot of pieces that, like that, and like that, and like that, that could be in the picture. There's also this really weird piece here. I don't really know how that's going to work. And there's also pieces that have weird sides, which I assume border this one here. Okay, so it is currently the next day, and I'm hoping I can finish it today.
I'm a human, not a stone. I can make a change and go wherever I want to. They told me maybe I'm too old, but there's fire in my soul. The heat is getting higher. I feel that I'm on fire. The world is my desire. I feel that I'm on fire. There's no doubt I'm strong enough to reach the state I've dreamed of. It's gonna happen, and I will do what I can just to be a better man. The heat is getting higher. I feel that I'm on fire. The world is my desire. I feel that I'm on fire.
there we go.